Good evening and welcome to Omnibroslive. I'm one of your hosts, Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault. Joining me from Comics Guide 101, Lou Rodrigue. Lou, how's it going, buddy?
Hey now.
Hey now.
It's good. It's a Monday. I am drinking Jack and Coke out of a You Me We mug because I'm a fancy bitch. So, and it's been that kind of a week.
Just that kind of a week. It just started.
It's been that kind of a week. I didn't get the job, so.
I know. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, it's been
very, very sorry for you. I totally get it. My daughter has struggled for years to find the right job, and this is about her 6th job that she's on, and I hope it sticks.
Been sticking pretty good with Junior.
Sorry?
Has this one stuck pretty well with Junior so far? She seems to like it.
Well, it's been 2 months. She's gotten great performance reviews, so we'll see. If it goes
for her.
If it goes past 6 months, that'll be a record. So that tells you what kind of track record my daughter has.
Well, I mean, she's about my age, right?
She's 27, yeah.
Well, okay, so she's still figuring things out just like I am. She'll find something.
Yeah.
I think that's primarily for my generation. That's primarily what my generation is going through through the 20s. They're trying to figure out what the hell their place in life is right now.
Yeah, sure, I get that completely. That's why I don't put any pressure on her regarding, getting a job and keeping it. It's just, are you happy? Are you doing your best? Keep at it. And she seems to be doing really well at this one. And so she's out of the house. She's paying her own bills. The only thing that she's on the hook for, I'm on the hook for, is her cell phone bill, and I'm okay with that. I'll keep paying her cell phone. She's paying her own rent and food and everything else, so that's cool. But before we go any further, someplace that has found its place in our lives is InStockTrades.com. InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off your collected editions. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. Every quarter, there's an Omnibroslive discount code. Order $50 or more in your order, and you get free shipping in the U.S., the best possible customer service, and fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. IST. Yeah. We refer to them often.
Yes, we do. We love them.
Yes, we sure do.
Don't know what we do without them.
We love our IST. And there is Matt Miranda on his soapbox for The Wire, trying to get us all to watch The Wire.
Hey, he got me to finally start watching Deadwood.
Oh, really? Is it good?
Yeah, I love Deadwood, man.
I downloaded, for my flight to Vegas, I downloaded everything I said I was going to. There's like 6 different shows on my iPad. I don't know how I'm going to get to them all, but I'll get to a good chunk of it. I'm not sure what I'm going to start on, but I downloaded Sabrina, Castlevania. I had Lost in Space on there. I got Maniac. And what was the other one everybody told me to do? There was a 5th one. It's a Netflix series. Shoot, I can't think of what it was. But I have 5 of them on there.
Jeez, Jess.
Oh, I know. There's about 40 hours of programming on there. Actually, Maniac's only about half an hour long, so I'll be able to get through that.
And how many hours is this flight?
It's 5.5 out.
Well, you got to be able to keep yourself really entertained for 5.5 hours.
That's right. Unless that attractive woman sits down next to me, and then all bets are off. Because I obviously will be engaging her in conversation the whole way to Vegas. And then she'll turn out to be a hooker, and I'll owe her $500.
Oh, man. So today we're talking about the legendary, the great Stan Lee, who, if you haven't heard the news, he ended up passing. Was it today? I didn't read the news story, but I know he's gone.
Today, yeah.
Yeah, so he ended up dying at the age of 95. The guy had a hell of a good run, man.
95, you better believe it. And this is where Jess gets on his soapbox.
Oh, everybody ready for old man Jess? Come on.
That's right. I'm going full gatekeeper on this. I'm not ashamed to say I've earned every one of these gray hairs.
There you go.
And I've been reading comics a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just tell you what a wasteland comic books were in the 50s and 60s. The 1954 Senate hearings pretty much cut the balls off of all comics publishers, and all they could possibly print. They created the Comics Code of Authority, and all they could print was Westerns and romance comics, and not even science fiction comics. Marvel was printing, before Stan Lee showed up, Marvel was printing Western and romance comics, and DC was giving us fine fares such as Batman in Space and Batman in Space, plus Batman in Space, and then things like Superman Red, Superman Blue. It was drivel. It was utter drivel. It was DC editors and editors at the time were quoted as saying, "These are just things we're printing up for 8-year-olds to read while sitting on the toilet." That is a quote. And you can look it up on the internet, because that is a quote from a DC editor at the time. They cared little for their reader and pandered to the masses. Then along came Stan Lee in 1961 with Fantastic Four. Now, I'm not saying that he was a saint. I'm not saying he was a sinner. I'm not over crediting him. I'm not under crediting him. I am crediting him.
Yes.
Along with Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby, Stan Lee blew the dust off our eyes and created something fun and relatable, starting with Fantastic Four. But I think his most notable creation was Spider-Man, because you dealt with Peter Parker, who was trying to defeat the Green Goblin and get home in time to have dinner with Aunt May, who I still don't understand how Aunt May was 90 and Peter Parker was like 16, but that is comics for you. But was completely relatable to teenagers and college students, and it created a whole new audience for comics. Stan Lee is responsible for that. I am not trying to give him too much credit, but I'm going to give him credit. He and Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko created the most memorable, relatable comics of the day, forced DC's hand into creating better comics, and I would argue created the modern comic. You would not have the comics industry today if it was not for Stan Lee.
Yes.
That is the first thing on my soapbox. I'll get on my soapbox for topic 2 a little later. I'll give you a clue. It involves French toast.
Yeah, I mean, Stan. What more can be said about Stan Lee? And was it Frederick Northam, whatever that book that he put out, Seduction of the Innocent?
The Innocent.
What was it?
Frederick Wortham, Seduction of the Innocent.
Yeah, that almost killed comics. That single book. Yep. He was some hokey psychologist that basically was saying, hey, comics are making our kids violent and all this other stuff. Stop if that sounds familiar with video games today.
Good point.
And so, saying, yeah, comics are making our kids super violent. It's making them be more aggressive. He had no backing proof. It was just a bunch of bullshit. And that led to the Comics Code of Authority, like you said, and it really hurt comics for a long time. Like a long time. Wasn't there a Spider-Man issue where Stan Lee refused to put the Comics Code of Authority on it?
There was. There were drug issues.
Right.
I don't think Stan Lee wrote those. The 3 drug issues were in the upper 90s, like 97, 98, 99. They came without the CCA approval. Now, I know DC had an argument. No. I'm thinking something different. DC did have an argument with the Comics Code about Speedy and his heroin. and they had to put that headline on the front of the comic. Are the most dangerous thing youths face today, drugs, and that's how they had to address it. That not just that Speedy had a drug habit, but that it was dangerous to all of our youth, and that's how that got the. I believe that got the Comics Code Authority seal. But EC was the one that ended up not being able to print. Well, I got a book right here that I just got. These were the EC books, Vault of Horror and things like that.
Oh man.
I just got this one because I found out it was in color and I decided I needed it in color. These were the ones that got hurt and they couldn't print anymore. And then there was a famous strip comic that they printed, and I can't remember the name of it. Actually, if I could probably pull it up somewhere. You know what? I bet I could pull it up, right? Wasn't I right here? Judge incredible science fiction.
Excuse me. While you do that, Daddy's gonna get a little sippy sip again because I'm feeling pretty good. And I'm gonna get my charger.
Okay. Weird Fantasy 18 was done in 1953, and then in Incredible Science Fiction 1956. It was a replacement story, and it was called Judgment Day and was an allegory against race prejudice, which point was necessarily nullified if the lead character was not black. Following an order by Code Administrator Judge Charles Murphy to change the final panel, which depicted a black astronaut, Gaines engaged in a heated dispute with Murphy. He threatened to inform the press of Murphy's objection to the story if they did not give the issue the code seal, causing Murphy to reverse his initial decision and allow the story to run, because the last panel, it was all about prejudice, showed that the astronaut was black. So that's the kind of baloney they were dealing with back then with the code and the seal of approval. Oh, Luis has gone there. That's right. He's gone to get a little more Jack and Coke. That's where we are. We're waiting for Luis to give his opinion on Stan Lee.
Hold on. My opinion on Stan Lee. I mean, really, what more can be said about the man? You know, there's some controversy. Wow, I'm feeling it. There is some controversy surrounding the man's legacy in terms of what he did and didn't do, how much influence he had. But the bottom line is, when you think of a lot of these characters and you think of Thor, you think of Iron Man, you think Spider-Man, you think these iconic characters, the blueprint in a lot of this stuff comes from Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Steve Ditko. So yeah. His influence and his creations, you cannot take that away from the man. You can't. Jack Kirby was an idea. Jack Kirby. Stan Lee was an idea man. He was very much an idea man, and he knew how to kind of take what was relevant of the time of that 60s and 70s and, you know, kind of translate that into something that people wanted to read. And that's not an easy thing to do. Why don't you ask a lot of what Marvel Comics is doing right now, trying to struggle to kind of stay relevant and things like that and put books out that people want to read. And Lee was just able to tap into that. He was able to create these characters along with, you know, Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko that were instantly just relatable. I mean, you know, X-Men obviously were an allegory for the civil rights movement and the oppression that blacks and people of color were facing during that time. Doctor Strange, you know, dealing with the LSD movement and things like that of people of the time.
The Hulk,
kind of taking that concept of that inner monster,
Hyde, yeah,
that inner monster inside of you, that Jekyll and Hyde, and creating some of the most iconic characters that even to this day, when you think about it, a lot of these characters, they are over 50 years old, guys. Over 50 years old, and they are still having stories that are being told about them. And guess what? Long after I leave this earth, and long after, Jess
Hey, take it easy.
and all of us leave this plane, these characters will still probably be here, and they will still be relevant, and you'll still have fresh new writers that are going to come up and create new concepts and new ideas. But a lot of all that blueprint and a lot of all that stuff came from those early Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, and Stan Lee comics. The Fantastic Four is the blueprint for the Marvel Universe. Mm-hmm. Those early comics are the Marvel Universe. There really wasn't a Marvel Universe per se until the Fantastic Four. That's when you started getting characters like Black Panther, the Submariner, who I believe he was an older character at the time, but they brought him back to make him more relevant in the Fantastic Four. So many great ideas. That Fantastic Four run is brilliant. It is flat out like brilliant. And again, a lot has to be said about how much of that was Jack Kirby and stuff like that, because as the story goes, Stan Lee was more the idea guy, and Jack Kirby was the one that, kind of put the paper to pencil and did some of the scripting and stuff like that. But
right,
it was Stan Lee's ideas that a lot of this stuff came from. And he just had a crazy imagination. And it's something that I think a lot of writers today, that they could use some of. That craziness and that imagination.
And he was also a fabulous ambassador for comics. He made comics cool, I think, to a whole generation, a couple of generations, I think, for people. He was a wonderful ambassador, and we absolutely cannot diminish the importance of Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby in these creations. They are equal as far as I'm concerned. They all created it, but I'm just saying Stan Lee, due to his longevity, due to his ambassadorship, just was the epitome and the embodiment of the idea man, as you say, in comics.
Yes, sir.
And I'm getting close to timing Cycle Cleveland out, which would be a record.
Yeah, he's already kind of
bugging me.
Yeah, me too. That is a record. Jesus, he's only been in the chat for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dave K, he's made appearances. He's filmed quite a few more appearances. So he's got a few more Marvel cameos after this that he's gonna pop up in. I think he filmed they finished the Spider-Man movie, so I think he probably filmed that too, the next one. Mm-hmm. And we know that they've already been finished with the new Avengers movie, so he's probably gonna be in that. I would assume he's in Captain Marvel as well, so he's got quite a few more appearances that he's gonna pop up in.
Yeah, and those were always fun to spot him in those.
Yeah, they were. My personal favorite was the one in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where the Watchers are there. I was like, oh my God, it's the Watchers.
Yeah, that was great. I can't remember which movie it was where they thought he was Larry King. Which movie was that?
I forgot.
He was like, they were coming down the escalator and people mistook him for Larry King, and he said something like, "I'm not Larry King."
I'm honestly surprised he made it, because his wife passed away. It was sometime last year, right?
Last year, yeah.
And we've talked about it before. You know what they say, usually when the wife of somebody, when they've been together for a long time, they go, the other person in the relationship is like, okay, I'm ready to kind of move on as well. So he's lasted about a year, and he was still doing con appearances until a few months ago. The guy was a workhorse.
They were married 69 years.
Oh my God.
And I have actually a story about that my wife told me that she read, that Stan Lee had a little bit of an artist in him, and he kept drawing what he considered the perfect woman with the perfect figure and face with the perfect hat on. Of course, this is back in the 40s or whatever. And he went into a hat shop one day, and there was the woman who he had been drawing, and she was British, and he loved her accent, and he invited her out to lunch. They fell in love, but she was already married because it was a marriage of convenience. I'm not sure it was a marriage of convenience, but she was married to somebody and got her green card. She was from Britain and was unhappy in her marriage. She flew to Reno. He flew to Reno. She got a divorce, and an hour later married Stan Lee. And they were married 69 years together.
Oh, man, that's quick.
That's actually what I'm going to do in Vegas when I go visit Gabe. I'm going to divorce my wife, and an hour later, I'm going to marry my favorite stripper of the weekend. I'm going to go on a complete binge and see all the strippers I can, and the one I like the best, I will marry her. So next week at this time, it'll be a different story.
Elvis wedding.
Yo, what up, guys?
I want to become one of those online ordained ministers so I could marry my friends.
It takes like 5 seconds to do it.
Does it really?
Yeah, I've done it.
Wait, you could marry me? Like if me and my girl want to get married, you could do it, Gabe?
I guess. I signed up for that thing probably like 15 years ago when it was like a real thing, like the Church of Light or the Light Church or something like that, I think it's called.
Sweet. Yeah. You heard it here first. Gabe is going to marry me and my girl.
I'm going to marry you and Jess right now.
One thing we can see in the background is Gabe's fabulous spinner rack.
Yeah, man. I finally opened this thing up. I don't have it loaded all the way yet, but yeah, this thing is badass because it holds everything practically. It holds modern comics, Silver Age comics. I have all my epic collections in here. I have some resource material, like, the Thin Black Line, the Vince Coletta book. Right here it says, "Hey Kids Comics." And then I have my cross books. I think that's clever and funny. But yeah, this thing is, it holds everything except like CGCs and omnibuses. So.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to throw some Wizard magazines on here because I'm going to end up doing some Wizard magazine videos pretty soon. I did an unboxing video of this, and I'm going to finish that video up once I finish loading this thing up with comics and cool stuff. So I have some more to show later.
And there's the Silver Surfer, another creation of Stan Lee's.
Yeah. Are we on that part already? Were we talking about Stan Lee?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I gave my feelings on it. Lou gave his feelings on it, and so you can give your feelings on it.
All right. Well, it's a sad thing, of course, for his family. It's a sad day for the comic book industry. We lost the largest icon that comic books will ever have. No one will ever touch anything of his caliber of stardom when it comes down to comics. I hope, I don't know, whatever people want to believe in, heaven or the afterlife. I hope he's there with his wife and with Jack Kirby. Maybe they're doing some more creations or something like that. Who knows? That'd be really kind of a swell thing to think about. And I hope that this is the end of all the scummy, terrible things that we've heard happening to this poor man the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, there have been some stuff that's come out that's like, yeah, the people that have been supposedly taking care of him have been treating him like shit, and I'm like, oh.
Well, stealing his blood and using that to stamp signatures on comic books.
Yeah.
I think
Didn't Kevin Smith come out and say he could stay with him for a bit or something.
Yeah. I mean, hell, John, my boss, he even said that he would be his manager because, why would John need to steal money from a man like that, that kind of thing. But I mean, yeah, when that started coming out, a lot of people were coming out to shoulder support and offer assistance and help and things like that. But, towards the end, Stanley did get a good manager where before everything, a lot of this stuff for his signatures at conventions were dealt with cash. And I think that's where a lot of that stolen money came from. So his more recent manager made everything electronic. Everything had to be like debit cards or wire transfers and things like that, kind of keep things honest. But yeah, there was a lot of terrible, terrible things happening to poor Stan Lee. the last couple of years of his life that recently were coming out. So I'm glad that's over. I'm glad. I don't think he was suffering. I don't know how sick he might have been, or if he was sick at all. But I think outside of Walt Disney, I think he's like the biggest name in entertainment that's going to have a everlasting legacy.
Interesting comparison.
So that's really all I have to say about that.
I believe he had a daughter. Is that right?
Yes. He had one daughter, and I'm not sure how the relationship was towards the end. This isn't the time or place to speak about that. But yeah, I had one daughter. We all know his wife recently passed. That's probably like what, 6 months,
a year
ago?
A year and a half. A year and a half.
That long? Wow, I thought it was more recent. Okay.
Yeah, and when one goes and the other goes soon after, it's called failure to thrive. That's what happened to my mom after my dad went. Boom.
Oh, that's sad.
Like that.
I know that happens a lot with I haven't experienced anything like that with people, but I've known people who've had that happen with their dogs, where they have like a family, like, you know, two dogs are like bonded and one goes and the other one kind of goes soon after. But yeah, so that's that. You know, apparently he's done his cameo for Avengers 4 and a bunch of other cameos in the mail, or not in the mail, I'm sorry, in the can. So we'll still be able to see him, you know, do those cameos and things like that. And I'm sure right now there's a ton of leeches and scumbags on the internet blowing up eBay with Stan Lee signatures.
Yeah, I actually ended up asking you. I was like, how much do you think, like, that FF? Because we talked about it on the last episode. We mentioned the vault, and you said there was a Fantastic Four that was going for like 115,000, and it was signed, and it was an 8.0.
No, the FF one's not signed. We have a Amazing Fantasy 15 that's signed by Stan Lee.
Oh shit, that's wow.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I should have bought it on Saturday.
Yeah, but you have your chance at 75 grand. It's not 75 grand anymore. I'll tell you that much.
I bet. Damn it!
Man, if you only lasted a little bit longer, huh, Jess?
Yeah, I could have got it this weekend.
Just put a second mortgage on your house.
Oh, darn it!
If you don't have one already.
Yeah, really.
It would have been, actually, when you think about it, it'd be kind of a worthwhile investment at this point.
Oh, sure.
Would have been
probably, yeah. Wait a few years, boom, that thing will double, and you can pay your mortgage off.
Yeah. A lot of people will probably just run into comic book stores trying to pick up anything this weekend. Did you guys see?
I'm sorry, I've had a couple people hit me up on Instagram asking what kind of stuff we had or what I had or anything. Yeah.
Already?
That's kind of gruesome.
It happens. I mean, I don't think it's really that gruesome, honestly. I think it's like, it's the same as anything else. It's now in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Like a first appearance when they announce so-and-so is, Cassandra Cain. When Cassandra Cain got announced as being in Birds of Prey, her first appearance is skyrocketed really quick. It's supply and demand, and, you know, it happens all the time.
It's weird when it happens to a musician, and then the musician's albums spike. Like Prince dies, and suddenly 500,000 copies of Purple Rain go out the door. Where were those people the day before? They didn't want the album, and now that he's gone, all of a sudden they got to have the album.
It's very FOMO, also, I guess.
Yeah,
I was kind of thinking about that earlier because I was listening to a podcast that was talking about Luke Cage and Iron Fist, how it got canceled. Now, you remember I was saying earlier how I was surprised it even got a second season and how people were kind of upset that it got canceled. Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like, I hate it, but don't take it away from me.
Yeah.
Or now that it's gone, I want it.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. So same thing when like Michael Jackson died. You know, there was a lot of Michael Jackson controversy for years before he died. And then he died and everyone was like, oh, he was my favorite artist ever. He is fantastic. And all of his records sold out. And then I think, is it Beat It? One of his albums was still
Thriller.
For the longest time. Thriller was like one of the, continued to be like the biggest selling album of all time.
Yeah, Prince, when he passed, his sales just skyrocketed. I actually remember when Michael Jackson passed, I went to Walmart the next day just like to grab some groceries, and the entire, like, everything was gone. as far as Michael Jackson. People were snatching up his CDs. They were snatching up DVD. Whatever they could get their hands on, they were picking it up quick.
Yeah. What happens?
Yeah, so anything with Stan Lee's name right now is probably going to be pretty hot for at least like the next few weeks.
Yeah.
It was hot for a while. I mean, it's definitely probably about as sky high as it's going to be in the next couple of weeks, because once he stopped doing conventions and doing public signings, a lot of people were really interested in getting Stan Lee stuff that was already signed, because you couldn't get it signed.
I went to Baltimore back in 2012, and there was such a long line to take a picture with Stan Lee. It was like a 5-hour line.
Wow.
And I am not exaggerating. And instead, I got my picture. I got an autographed picture by George Takei, Sulu from Star Trek. That took me 10 minutes, and I thought, I'm happier.
Yeah.
Nothing against Stan Lee, but I wasn't standing in line for 5 hours for the guy.
I met Stan Lee about 20 years ago. Me and my friend Deshaun, Luis, you know Deshaun.
I love Sean.
Yeah, we met Stan Lee down in LA. There's this LA convention at the Shrine Auditorium, which is the building where they have the Academy Awards. And there was always this comic book convention back when we were kids. Once a month, there was this comic book convention. It was kind of a dirt convention, but it was cool because when we lived in back then, there wasn't a comic book convention every single weekend like it is now. And we met Stan Lee there. I got him to autograph a Spider-Man movie poster for me. It was the original movie poster that had the Twin Towers in Spider-Man's eyes. You remember that?
Yeah, I still remember that trailer with the Twin Towers.
Yeah, with the helicopter stuck in the web between the Twin Towers.
Yeah,
and they took it out after 9/11 happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then on our way, when we left the show, we walked through the parking lot, and Deshaun and I, we literally passed right, and there wasn't that much of a line for Stan Lee. He wasn't doing movie cameos at the time. It was very comic book centric. You had to be in the comics to really know who this guy was at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that long to get a signature. It was easy to get it. But as we were leaving the convention, we saw him in the parking lot smoking cigarettes. And we were like, hey, Stan Lee, what's up? And he said hi to us. So that's basically my Stan Lee interaction.
Nice.
About 12 years ago, my wife and I were first dating. She got really drunk at my house, and I had the poster. It wasn't framed at the time. It was just like, it was just thumbtacked to my wall next to my bed. And while drunk in her sleep, she accidentally tore it down.
Oh.
And I never bring it up to her because she's my wife. She's the most good-hearted, beautiful person I've ever met in my life. But today, Stan Lee dead. I go, do you remember when you ripped down that poster I had on my wall when you were drunk? And she just felt bad about it. It's the only time I've ever brought that up to her in like 12 years.
And Gabe was thinking, that divorce might happen.
Dude, you have to realize that I love her because she tore down that poster. I have this old school sideshow Venom statue from Spider-Man 3. I know Spider-Man 3 is garbage, but the Venom design I think was really cool.
Yeah, I did too.
She did something and she turned around and knocked all of his teeth out the statue.
Oh.
She's done stuff like that, here and there. She's pretty clumsy,
I've met Daisy. Daisy's so sweet though.
Yeah, she's an excellent, beautiful person, man. But yeah, you have to know I love her because she's done all that stuff, and I've never batted an eye twice at it. But I've had other people in my life that's borrowed comics from me and never returned them, and I've completely wrote them off, and never talked to them again.
Yeah. So, Stan Lee, there's our tribute to Stan Lee. Justice Soapbox Part 1. You heard it at the very beginning. And for one minute, let me just address Justice Soapbox Part 2. This is for people, peace and love, peace and love. This is for people who are on the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community Facebook page, who saw this weekend a picture of me.
Jess, why are you turning the group into your own personal Instagram post?
I'm going to keep this as friendly as possible. Peace and love, peace and love. There was a picture of me along with another person and from the Omnibus Collectors group, and we had a meetup and had friendship and fun, and I had enormous pieces of French toast in front of me. Number one, I only ate half of it. So don't you European elitists think that I ate the whole thing. I ate half of it.
And don't think that that's a typical American portion of food in a restaurant either.
That is correct.
We are not that big of fat asses over here in the U.S.
We are not that gluttonous. I ate half of it. And then I split the sandwich with my friend, and I took the sandwich home. So I had half a piece of French toast. It was big, but I had half a piece of French toast. Number two, it is okay to post those kinds of things on the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community because it's a community. We are friendly there. We enjoy meeting up with each other. And a lot of it involves food. A lot of it involves comics, but it all involves friendship. So, peace and love, peace and love. I refuse to back down on posting any pictures of myself and friends with food because this weekend you're going to see a lot of it from Gabe and myself.
Oh, it's going. We are going to blow up your feeds.
It's going to get nasty.
Yeah. I have a couple ideas in my head of what to do for fun gags with these pictures and stuff or videos. So literally, you do want to follow Omnibroslive on Instagram. You want to follow me, Gabe Infinity Watch, on Instagram if you're interested in seeing me and Jess and our antics throughout Las Vegas through this weekend. There will be a lot of posts, a lot of videos, some live videos I'm sure will happen. Things like that. So if you're interested in seeing us fool around in Las Vegas, or damn it!
Whoa, dude! Emily's mom might be in the chat. Take it easy.
I really apologize about that. That was completely uncontrollable, almost. Yeah. So you do want to follow us because you will be missing out on some fun, exciting activities that we're going to be doing this weekend. Maybe not so much in the strip clubs, but comic book stores, record stores. Every day I keep adding ideas. I don't have a list written down. I really should, of like restaurants and stuff like that I want to take Jess to. Jess, do you like video games? Do you like arcade games?
Sure.
All right. So we already talked once about the Pinball Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
There's another place out here. It's a restaurant bar arcade that has like stand-up old school arcade games that's all normally free to play. So we'll stay away from the bar part, of course, but the restaurant and the arcade part, it's cool. I'm gonna see if we can fit that into the schedule. There's so much to do. There's no way all these cool things I've talked about, we're gonna be able to do all of it. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be expensive after a while. Time is limited. Mm-hmm. Definitely, there's not enough hours in the day for all the stuff that I want to cram into this. Really, only like 2 days that we have because Sunday we're going to spend most of that at Torpedo at the signing.
So no midget strippers.
We'll see. Wait, you know what?
No.
Right, is there any midget wrestling going on in Vegas this weekend?
That is not for me.
It's going to happen if it's here, Jess. Or sometimes there used to be somewhere out here that did porn star karaoke.
Porn star karaoke. Okay.
Yeah.
Take an old visit down to the Bunny Ranch.
No, because I got elected. God, what did you get elected as?
Oh, yeah, you got elected. Dennis Hoff?
Yeah, I forgot what position it was that he got elected as.
Congratulations. You have a pimp now representing your state.
Oh, not only that, but a dead pimp. So those of you who don't know, there was the man who owns the Bunny Ranch out here, not in Vegas, it's outside of Vegas. You're not allowed, prostitution is not legal in Vegas. Outside of the Vegas limits, like per rump, which is like 45 minutes out, it's all good in the hood, son. but the man that owns the Bunny Ranch was on our Nevada ballot for, again, I don't remember what he was running for, but he died about a month or two ago, but his name is still on the ballot because the ballots are already like set and ready to go and put out and whatnot.
Yeah.
But he did win. We do have a dead legal pimp as a government representative here in Nevada.
Congratulations, Gabe.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into the politics side of that or my feelings behind how that happened, but it is a fact. We are catching up to Florida as being completely outrageous. And Luis will understand that too, because your state is wackadoo, son. Wackadoo.
Yeah, Florida.
I'm gonna spin the spinner rack one more time because this thing is badass. This is like Wheel of Fortune.
Florida is something else.
So do we want to talk about hauls and reads? I did not get the previews in my, I do not believe I got the previews in my email. Let me double check.
Yeah. Maybe we can still go through previews real quick. We can do hauls if you want. I am mega hauling. Like I was literally hauling on my way home. That's why I was a little bit late because I just hauled like extra large.
That's fine. Let's talk about hauls and reads.
All right. Yeah. So I did. Is this the right email address? Yeah. So I did not get the email. It might be because maybe they're out of work today because it's a federal holiday.
Oh.
So yeah. Also, we should mention Veterans Day and my appreciation for our veterans. My father was a veteran. He served in Vietnam. He recently died about 2 years ago. Due to complications from being exposed to Agent Orange. So I do give my love and appreciation to all of our veterans and their families, because when one person's in the military, their entire family is also enlisted. Not literally, but when it comes down to sacrifices that are made to go into the military to serve for our country, the entire family is affected big time. Yeah, so I did not get that. I did not get that email. But we could take a look at that after we get through with hauls. You want me to go first? Because I got a ton of shit. I don't know how long.
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. So, So I did put some of my haul on the spinner rack. So let me see. But I did get some epic collections, which is weird. I got this one book. I got X-Men Volume 1 epic collection, Children of the Atom. And then I started seeing everywhere that apparently this is super out of print and going for stupid money on eBay.
Oh.
It's always nice when you buy something, you realize, well, this is crazy money. I'm glad I got this for an affordable price. So I got that epic collection. This collects 1 through 3 of the original, speaking of Stan Lee, the original Stan Lee run. I don't think this is all Jack Kirby. I think Jack Kirby only did maybe the first 12 issues. It doesn't say in here, but I got this because there's no way I could afford that the omnibus that has this in it. That Silver Age omnibus for the X-Men is out of control. Another epic collection I got. I really, really wish Omar was on right now because he would absolutely hate that I got this Wolverine epic. This collects Wolverine 87 through 100. This is the time frame right after he got the adamantium ripped out of his body, so he has the bone claws. And I guess this is issues 87 through 100. 100 is when he was supposed to get his adamantium back, but guess what? He didn't. He didn't get his adamantium back. He was without his adamantium for like 5-6 years. It was a really long time when you think about it that he was without his adamantium. But in issue 100, when Cable's son, his name is Genesis, tried to re-graft his bones with the adamantium, his body rejected it. And then that's when he got that weird feral phase. We had no nose. He was all messed up and hunched over, and his body was completely changed after that experiment failed. So that's great. I'm glad I got that. That's one of my favorite timelines. I really wish Omar was on here because he hates 90s stuff, but I love it.
So were you a fan of Bone Claws?
Oh hell yeah, I was. I love the Bone Claws era. Love it. Just because I know they kind of retconned the character, but that was such a cool change and retcon of the character that it's stuck. It is now basically known and it's shown in the movies that before the adamantium experiments with Weapon X, he had bone claws. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. I like that stuff.
That was an Origin also that who wrote Origin?
Paul Jenkins.
Yeah. I never really cared for Origin too much.
And was it Andy Kubert? It was one of the Kubert. I get Andy and Adam confused. Yeah, they did the art. Joe Quesada did the covers.
Some of those covers, man, were really fucking good.
Yeah, no. And then Richard Eisenoff, I want to say, did the coloring.
Yeah.
And the coloring on those covers is just really cool. They had this copper overlay feel to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But speaking
I remember when those were coming out, those were a pain in the ass to find in comic book stores. I would go in and ask, hey, if you guys got back issues of Origin, because I missed the first 1 or 2 issues, and they're like, no, we're sold out completely.
Yeah, that was a big deal. They did that. They did that because Marvel wanted to have Wolverine's origin in place before the movies set his origin. If that makes any sense. Because they were worried because the X-Men movies, they gave Rogue a name, Marie. And that was not in the comics anywhere at all. But because of that, I think they had to shoehorn in her name as Marie. I think her name is Marie now in the comics. Mm-hmm. Again, another fucking thing that upsets me where the movies influence the comics, but whatever. But yeah, so they did that to have that origin already in place before the movies dictated that origin for them. So speaking of Joe Quesada, I got the Marvel's Knights Omnibus by Joe Quesada. This is basically Marvel Knights Daredevil. This is one of my favorite eras in comics. This is the time where, for a while, I was out. I kind of fell out of love with Daredevil for a little bit. I mean, I love the Armored Daredevil stuff and the Born Again stuff, Fall from Grace, I should say. The Fall from Grace stuff I really enjoyed. But there was a time where Daredevil just wasn't satisfying. This came back and brought Daredevil back into my life and made me fall back in love with Daredevil. This is the Kevin Smith run. This is Guardian Devil. Some of this was used in the season 3 of Daredevil on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite things, it kind of became a nice running gag on the Omnibus group, which is, shout out to the Omnibus group, guys. They love just making a gag out of something and running with it. But what I really like about this is there's a picture of Joe Quesada on the back. I've never seen a creator. They've done a lot of creator comics and omnibuses before, but I've never seen their actual picture on here. So that's kind of cool. So that replaces
that is a big
Guardian Devil. Yeah, this replaces Guardian Devil, and Parts of a Whole is in here as well. So I now have almost everything to do with Volume 2 of Daredevil now been collected in omnibus format. I don't have Shadowland yet because I like Shadowland, and then the last issue or two that resolved Shadowland was disgusting, and I hated it with a passion. I'm waiting for Shadowland to go on super discount before I get that. But now we have basically all of Volume 2 of Daredevil in omnibus format, besides a few random issues that are missing out of the Bendis omnibuses. This one here, Luis and Jess should be super interested in because of the release of this book on time. To get Jess
there you go.
Free in and out this week. This is Transmetropolitan Volume 3. This completes finally my all-time favorite series. I have Spider Jerusalem tattooed on my body. I have every single iteration of this book. Some of the single issues I am going to throw up on this back or on this spinner rack back here. because I love that. I love the series so much. So this completes all 60 issues, all the one shots, like I Hate It Here and the Christmas special and stuff like that. That Christmas special is great.
I love it.
Spider Jerusalem just goes over to those kids that are making like snowman, and he makes it look like the snowmans are butt fucking each other. Oh, it's great. This is good stuff. So yeah, I got this. I had to buy this. This is 100% was going to get bought by me no matter what. Day one purchase right here, everybody. Hashtag day one purchase. Another book that's kind of been talked about a lot on the Omnibus group. I didn't get the version everybody's talking about, but everybody's been talking about Deadly Class Volume 2.
Oh, you guys are in for such a fucking treat. I'm caught up on the single issues. You guys, you guys have no clue what awaits for you in that book.
Let me tell you this. I have Volume 1, I have Volume 2, and I haven't read a single issue of this book.
Oh, you haven't? I read Volume 1.
I've not read any of it yet. I just recently, it was my birthday, so I came into a lot of birthday money. I sold some things on eBay, so I came into a lot of extra spare cash recently. So that's where this crazy haul is coming from. So I got Volume 2. This is not the DCBS version that everybody is super hype on in the Omnibus group. But yeah, I had to pick that up. Also, with all this, it's kind of a theme here with this haul. I've been finishing a lot of series that I haven't had yet, or that I haven't had complete, that I've been kind of sitting on. And one of those things that I finally now have complete is Why the Last Man. I picked up Why the Last Man Volume 3 also.
The Absolute?
The Absolute, that's Absolute Volume 3.
I mean, how do you feel about them? Because for me, the first one, and I never picked up the other two. The first one was a total disappointment for me.
Yeah, I realized that there isn't a lot of backup material. There's not a lot of bonus features in here, unlike Transmetropolitan, that's just loaded. Same with the Marvel Knights Omnibus. If you're a fan of backup features and bonus features and like sketches and interviews and stuff like that, that Marvel Knights Omnibus is packed with that stuff. Same with the Transmetropolitan stuff. Absolute Why the Last Man, not so much.
Yeah.
But this is, I think, a turning point in comics. I think this is one of the first series, especially within the last in this century, in the 2000s, that was very female centric and very female oriented, because that's what Brian K. Vaughan is really known for, is strong female characters and female.
It's very
empowerment.
Ahead of its time.
Exactly. So I had to get that to finish that off. I mentioned it before, but I'll mention it now. I've never finished this series.
What?
I think the last 6 issues I've never read, just because I was just like,
what?
I don't know how the series ends. I don't know what caused the whatever it was. I don't know what caused all the men to die, all the male species to die. Dude. I don't know what caused it. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know. But I have Volume 3. I can figure it out soon.
It's one of the best endings in comics I've ever read.
But my wife knows. She read. I used to have all the issues. I had 1 through 60. I had all the issues. My wife read all of them. It's one of the few books she's ever really read for comic books, because she's not into the superheroes and things like that. I took her comic hunting with me the other day, and she pulled out all these random books that she really likes. I got to pick up that one book that Mark Waid was talking about on the Fangirlz interview. Louisa. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick that up for her. I haven't read it, but I'm sure she's gonna really enjoy it. I told her, I was like, you gotta watch the Fangirlz on my channel, because they really that's all I think they talk about. It's really cool indie, like female centric books. But either way, Why the Last Man Volume 3. I'm not done yet. Sorry. So bear with me.
Jeez Louise, we're gonna be here till midnight.
I told you. I warned you fucking guys that this is gonna be a mega fucking haul.
Hey Jess, excuse me. Hey Jess, I know you're not feeling too hot, man. If you want to bow out, me and Gabe could keep going, dude.
No, I'll hang in there. That's all right. I'll hang in there.
No. Jess, you're fine. You're not talking or anything right now. You're just listening. So Authority Volume 2. So that finishes out my Authority absolutes as well.
Ooh.
This is the this is very odd to me. This is the Mark Miller Frank Quietly run that for some reason kind of actually outshadows the Warren Ellis storyline.
What? It's better than Ellis? I haven't read that.
No, not that it's better, but like when people talk about Authority, they talk about this run. This is the run that they talk about with the whole like killing the JLA allegories and like the they kind of made jokes about the JLA characters. Was it JLA or was it Justice League character? Or I'm sorry, Justice League, or was it Avengers characters? It was JL. No, I think it was Justice League. No, was it Avengers? Either way, they do a lot of allegories to other comic book characters on here. There's a scene in here with a jackhammer that has a stake in it that is super creepy and messed up and really literally one of the most vile, disgusting things I've seen in a comic book. But so I got that. Also, all right, so here's the end of it.
Man, you hauled hard.
Dude, I do. This is like a just haul. So, Ultimate Spider-Man, I now have every oversized hardcover besides Volume 8, including the Death of Spider-Man Omnibus. I just picked this up earlier today. Oh my god. I don't need all of this because I have the Omnibus for Ultimate Spider-Man, the first Omnibus. So I'm probably just going to sell, I think, what is it, the first 4? Is it the first 4 hardcovers that's in the Omnibus? First three. So I'm going to sell those first 3 and use that to buy Volume 8. So there you go. Gabe hard. This is like the hardest haul I've had in a long time. I love Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man brought me back into Spider-Man. I stopped reading Spider-Man at the very end of the Clone Saga, not because of the Clone Saga itself, not because anything to do with the idea that Ben Ryley was supposed to be the real Peter Parker. I liked that kind of chasing the story of that. It was the whole stillbirth baby lie.
Oh, jeez.
That to me, when did that come out? 96, 97? Whenever that came out, that was a little too heavy for my teenage self to go like, I'm like, I can't deal with that. They lied to them that their baby was stillborn and Norman Osborn stole the baby. And then that was never touched on again. But that was too much for me. I stopped reading Spider-Man for a very long time until I heard how excellent this Ultimate Spider-Man run was. And I picked up, I think, issue 3. I think issue 1. No, I know for a fact. Issue 1, I bought off of eBay for $20. And that just started me from there. I had 3 and 2. I had to buy volume number 1 off of eBay.
Yeah.
This was on earlier eBay purchases. So yeah, there you go. I now have a full run of Ultimate Spider-Man, including the death. I want to get Miles Morales Omnibus that takes up right after this, but the binding on every single copy of Miles Morales Omnibus is shit.
Mine's perfect.
God, dude, what? Every copy we've had 6 copies come into the store, and they've all been separated from the ribbon.
Right there, it's perfect.
That is weird. God. 6 copies. I might just buy one super dirt cheap from the store and just get some of that PVA glue and just fix it or something. But I've never seen and people even on the Omnibus community group were like, I got it, but the binding sucks ass. So
yeah, I got the only copy that's good.
It must be, man. Dude, you should just turn around and sell that thing for like $3 million.
Also, don't you ever ruin who dies in the death of Peter Parker in Ultimate Spider-Man. Don't do it.
Yeah, you did that in a video once. Some dude got all over your ass about it, right?
Dude, I still get fucking comments on that video saying, "Oh, you're a jackass. You ruined who dies in the death of Peter Parker." It's in the name.
They have to be trolling you, son. Like that's outrageous.
They have to be. Yeah, I'm convinced 90% of them, it's just people being idiots and trying to troll.
Yeah.
Also, if anybody, I don't have the chat up. I'm sorry. I just jumped into the chat room. Last time I checked, we were 3 subscribers away from 2,000. So
Michael Cleveland says we are now 1 subscriber away.
Woohoo!
Okay, now we're Uno subscribers away. Uno's a game, if you don't know, is a game that me and Luis cannot play.
I can play it. It's great.
Yes, Luis and I are unable to play Uno, and so is Ryley, and so is Gio.
And Omar?
And Omar. Everybody on OmniBros is unable to play Uno except Jess. And that's a backwards racist joke. Speaking of racism, I saw the hate you give today.
Oh, how is that?
It's amazing.
Is it?
It's incredible, especially if you're anybody of any type of minority group. And I don't mean like Black or Hispanic, but I mean anybody who's like maybe special needs, any kind of disabled, anything to do where there is a lack of tolerance or a lack of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Just the opening scene of this movie is extremely touching. Like it is touching. It gives you a look into Black families and something that I know because I was basically adopted by a Black family.
Mm-hmm.
That all the Black families that I know have to have this conversation with their family, with their kids. That is basically the opening scene of this movie, and it is sad. It is funny. It is eye-opening. That's basically what this movie is altogether. So I don't want to spoil this opening scene. I mean, I'll say it if you want to, but that opening scene is just a glimpse into the reality of a Black family. And I think anybody who is of any kind of minority type group as well.
So that leaves me out.
Yeah, Jess, I don't think you ever have to get worried when you get pulled over by the police.
So, except that I'm the minority in this group.
That is, but we're not going to pull you over.
So what you're saying is Jess would go watch the movie and go, I don't get it, and just walk out.
No, he'll get it because Jess isn't an idiot.
I love you, Jess.
He'll get it, and I think you know.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just say it. The opening scene of this movie is the main characters of this story.
Huh.
It starts out in the early 90s. Mid 90s. They don't give you a year, but it's the 90s. But it's a younger version of this family that you follow throughout the hate you give. And it's the father sitting them down and teaching them what you have to do when you get pulled over by the police.
Oh, I've seen that scene. Yeah.
Okay. It's basically them saying, like, you put your hands on the dashboard. You don't move your hands. You refer to them as officer. You explain to them why you're moving to your back pocket to grab your wallet. It's those kinds of things that most families in America don't have to have a conversation with their family, but you need to, depending on who you are, to make sure your family comes home safe every night. It's one of those kinds of movies.
Yeah,
there's a lot of tears.
My mom's had a similar conversation with my brother about that.
Yeah,
my brother is really dark skinned compared to me. He's pretty dark. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, same thing. If you're like, your brother could definitely be targeted, or could be seen as being Arabic or Middle Eastern. It could have some kind of hassle as well.
My brother could pass off for like 8 different countries. Well, you've met him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a cool guy. He came out here once and never hit me up. We were going to party, but it never happened.
I know. He I forgot what ended up happening. He ended up leaving early from Vegas, I think, because he came out to do a jiu-jitsu tournament, but he ended up losing and he got super depressed. So he came back home like a few days early. It's like,
but I do recommend this movie, dude. Like, go check it out. Like, man, it's hard hitting. It's like Black Klansman, but without the humor in it. I don't know if you've seen Black Klansman yet.
Let me just say that.
All right.
Vermilion 1000 has a question. Hey guys, I recently purchased Uncanny X-Force Omnibus for 130 pounds. I don't know what that is in American money. Probably $200, I guess. How is the binding and story? The binding is fine. The story is freaking fantastic. That and Astonishing X-Men and New X-Men were my introduction into the X-Men and Marvel Universe 5 years ago. Freaking great. I love that book.
Yeah, if you got that book for, I don't know, 135 pounds equals out to in American money, it's worth it. It's really worth it. That's definitely a standalone story where you don't need to know anything about the X-Men. You don't need to read, 60 years almost of the X-Men to get involved or to have any kind of attachment. Yeah. It's one of the best lineups of X-Men characters ever. I think you have Wolverine. It's basically Wolverine's. It's Cyclops' kill squad. Cyclops goes, "Hey Wolverine, I need you to build a team of killers." It's like the Navy SEALs of the X-Men. Like these are the guys you send in to do the dirty jobs that nobody else can do. I don't know if anybody ever watched that TV show, The Shield.
I love The Shield.
Yeah, it is that type of team, but of X-Men characters. So you get Warpath, you get Wolverine, you get X-23, you get Wolfsbane, you get a really fucked up psycho Archangel.
You get a great Deadpool.
Great Deadpool moments. In
one of the best Deadpools you're gonna read.
I think Revere writes one of the best Deadpools ever.
You get this team where all their job is to do is to get dropped in a situation and just murder everybody.
It's great,
but it's great stories too, because it's the whole like apocalypse child thing and the apocalypse seed and like I think what was it? It was the Something World storyline, the Captain Britain storyline that kind of lost me for a little bit, just because I think the art was just garbage. But besides that, like that's a killer run. Like Jess said, it's that New X-Men and Astonishing X-Men that you can pick up anywhere and fall in love with the X-Men. This is your free taste of drugs, literally. And you're going to fall into the X-Men limbo of just rabbit holes. So good for you, man.
Gabe, just so you know, we are now at 2,001 subscribers.
Oh, God damn it. Now I got to really literally pull out all those comments on that video and start doing that giveaway. So, all right, everybody, we got a giveaway going on now. Thank you to everybody that subscribed that pushes over that limit. If this is your first time here, I'll post it in the Omnibus community party tomorrow. I'm drinking a Natty Daddy. I don't know if you ever guys heard of a Natty Daddy. So I'm a little tipsy right now, so I won't do it now. But I'll post in the Omnibus community group the video that you need to comment on to be a part of our giveaway, where I have a Sin City, Big Damn Sin City, which is that huge omnibus that collects every single Sin City story. Spider-Man by Todd McFarlane. Jess has an Earth X. We have a trade paperback set of Sweet Tooth. So those are the big three giveaways. Am I wrong? Is that the three giveaway items? Was there anything else?
Excuse me. I think I have a couple of freebie paperbacks too to give away.
We'll be giving away a lot of more stuff. We'll be giving away more stuff in the chat for our chat people who follow us on a regular basis when we do this 2000 giveaway episode, which will be later on. We got stuff going on. Jess is going to be in town this week, so we won't be able to do it this week. Somebody's cooking something good in my house. I'm starving. But yeah, so eventually, sooner or later, sometime soon. I don't want to promise it's going to be this month because you have Thanksgiving and we have family events. So sometime between now and before Christmas, I want to say, hopefully, we'll do a giveaway with those items. And I really want us to have fucking new logos so that we could do T-shirts and stuff like that too soon. I might just take charge of that because I haven't heard anything back from anybody about the logo.
I have a haul that I'm ready to talk about.
Guys. 2,000 subscribers. Look at that shit.
Rick Nelson, no, I'm not giving away. I contemplated giving away my Secret Wars Battle Zones book because I finally finished them, and God bless America, I'm tired of them. Holy crap. I bought 35 or 30 out of the 40 books. I'm like, when is this going to end? So I have to do my final video on that tomorrow. I was going to today, but I had a major migraine that I was battling. Wow. So, yeah, I'm glad. It was a fun read, but it was an awful lot to read.
This is just going to be staring off into the screen going to horror. In Vietnam.
He has that look on his face every time he talks about this. Every single time he talks about this, Jess.
What?
If anybody could just kind of think back for a second and think about The Great Outdoors, that movie, The Great Outdoors. Remember the look on John Candy's face when they go to that restaurant and they bring out the old 76er, that huge pile of meat, that giant steak that's a 76-ounce steak. Not when he has to eat it, but later on where they tell him, no, you're not done with this because there's still all that gristle and fat that you need to eat. That look he gives is the same look every time Jess talks about all this battle rolled shit that he has had to have read, that he's had to bought, and that he's had to do videos about. Is that look? And I love that movie. The world lost a lot when John Candy passed.
That is true. Rick Nelson has a question. Jess, when are you starting your Marvel Cosmic Readathon? I actually moved that date to January 1st because I have way too many other books that I need to read first. So I'm starting January 1st on the Marvel Cosmic Readathon. Mm-hmm. Okay, my haul. X-Men Grand Design, Second Genesis. I got all trade paperbacks. This is a trade paperback.
That thing is great though for a trade. Can you call that a trade? I don't know. It's like
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. This is like a hardback paperback something. It was really excellent. I gave in. IST had super sales on a bunch of things, and I gave in and got a bunch of things for really cheap. They were either damaged or on their front page at like 70% off or something. So I finally got Killer Be Killed Volume 2. I'm not going to wait for the hardcover. My friend Travis recommended to me Cyclops, Books 1 and 2. Book 1 is by Rucka, so that's got to be good. Book 2 is by Layman. He's pretty good too. From Dark Horse, Eric Federchik recommended A Study in Emerald. And this is by Neil Gaiman, and it's supposed to be excellent. And I read something good on the internet about this book, Sleepless. Don't know a damn thing about it. It's got artwork by Leila Del Duca. Let's see, what is her? I know I'm mispronouncing her first name. Come here. Leila Del Duca, whose work I really love. So Sleepless. I got this book. I think it's about, I have no idea what it's about. Supergirl, Volume 3 and 4, Rebirth. Look at this. What a picture. And then look at the back.
Yeah, that's a great art germ right there.
It's just, how can you not fall in love with Supergirl from that? And then in this one, she's just a total badass. I picked up an original Marvel. This used to be digital, then they put it in print. Jessica Jones Blind Spot, because I think it's by Kelly Thompson. Kelly Thompson, yeah, I love her work. I love Jessica Jones, so that was a must-buy for me. Avengers Undercover, we got that. Then I got from Donnie Cates, this was on Super Sale 2, Volumes 1 and 2 of Redneck. So I've got issues 1 through 12 in this. Some kind of vampires who run a local barbecue joint. You had me at barbecue. And I got, because I seem to be one of the few people that likes Kelly Sue DeConnick.
They had you at barbecue. Sorry, that was great.
I am the only one on the planet that seems to like Kelly Sue DeConnick. I love Pretty Deadly. Stop it, Louise. I love Pretty Deadly, so I got volumes 1 and 2
People like
of that.
Kelly Sue, but there's a great division. There's a great division with Pretty Deadly for some reason.
Oh gosh, I love Pretty Deadly. Hey, stop that.
I find it to be dribble. I don't.
This is my haul, not your opinion. My haul. Don't be harsh in my buzz.
I'm sorry, Jess.
Good heavens.
I just think Kelly Sue hasn't written anything good since probably the 3rd grade.
Good heavens. God, get off of this channel.
I'll shut up.
I read on the internet somewhere that The Dead Hand was good, so I got this book, Crime and Mystery, Science Fiction, Thrillers, and Espionage, and it's by some people I don't know from Image, but I gave it a shot. I also read that Maestro is supposed to be good, so I picked that up, and I also heard from somebody I know recommended this. Ryley Rossmo art, Josh Williamson wrote it, Deathbed. So I got this. I did a lot of blind buys. Here's a book I did not blind buy. My fave, Red Hood and the Outlaws Rebirth #4. And one of my favorite books, Volume 2 of Moonshine.
Ooh, that came out. I need to read that.
Yeah.
I dug the first volume.
I did too. I read that several times. I liked it so much. Okay. Deathbed. Okay, maybe it was Psycho Cleveland that recommended Deathbed. He and I usually have the similar taste, so perhaps it was Psycho Cleveland. I don't know. I don't know. My head is full of cotton today. I just don't know. So then we can get to my reading portion, and I'll get that look in my eyes because it was all these Battle World Warzone books.
This was your Vietnam.
And I'm doing like the world's fastest video tomorrow. Volume 3, I'm gonna go Spider-Verse. Good, get it. Marvel Zombies.
Agent
good,
Orange.
Get it.
Agent Orange.
Hail Hydra. Good, get it.
Agent Orange.
I'm not even gonna go into detail on it. I'm just gonna go buy these or don't. Holy guacamole. So yeah, that's what I read.
Damn, son. You're not gonna read anything this week because you're gonna be too busy here in town.
You are a true scholar, Jeff.
I told Luis that I put like 5 things on my iPad to read on the plane there, and not to read, but to watch. I put Castlevania on there, so I need to watch that. And because you recommended it, and so do so many other people. And Lost in Space and Maniac, and I feel like, and gosh darn it, there was something else that I downloaded too. I wish I had my iPad with me, but there's like 5 things, 50 hours. Okay, it's not a cyclamendation then. It wasn't Ryley Rossmo that I had the problem with on Cowboy Ninja Viking. It was the writer that I had the problem with on Cowboy Ninja Viking. I am a fan of Rossmo in general. Not a big fan. Let's see. Yeah, no, Rossmo's fine. I dig his art, but I was not a fan of the writing in Cowboy Ninja Viking. That's just me.
That was I could barely understand what was going on.
I got what he was going for, but I didn't get it completely. So I just like, forget
that book
it.
was really hot for a while because there was like a movie announcement.
Yeah, Chris Pratt was attached to it too.
Oh, that's right. Is it not anymore?
I don't know what happened with that.
I haven't heard anything in a long time.
I really should give that book away. There's no reason for me to own it. I know it's a whale.
Save it for the giveaway then.
Save
it for the giveaway show. The giveaway show. Give somebody in the chat.
Blah blah blah. I don't have any.
Or pour
words.
root beer on it. Whatever you want to do, bro.
No, I don't want to pour root beer on that one. I didn't hate it. I just didn't get it. So that's on me that I didn't get it. I don't. If something's horrendously written, then yeah. But I mean, the writer just went for something I just didn't connect with. Luis, have you been reading anything?
We covered that yesterday.
Okay. Oh, you mean Guardians of the Galaxy?
I read the Guardians of the Galaxy. You can watch yesterday's episode. I don't want to retread too much. I'm all caught up with Mr. Miracle. I read Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's right.
What else? Have I read anything else? I really don't think I've read anything else other than that. I need to read Grant Morrison's Green Lantern because the first issue of that came out, so I need to pick that up and read that on my tablet. Have I been reading anything?
When you get a digital copy, do you get like the variant covers for it too?
Yeah.
Okay, because that Frank Riley cover is pretty sick.
For Grant Morrison one?
Green Lantern, yeah.
I've seen it. Oh, it's really good. It's really good. I got the Cable book from ISD. Thank you, guys.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ISD.
For the review. So I'm have to sit down with that sometime this week. But no, I mean, I plan to catch up with Batman because I stopped after the whole Mr. Freeze thing. So I stopped around issue 54, I want to say, 55. I'm all caught up with Hellboy. So I can't wait for the hiatus to be over and they bring back the BPRD series again in like a month or two. And this week we get the final issue of Mr. Miracle. So I'm super excited about that.
Do you get it digitally or do you buy physical copies?
Me? For Mr. Miracle?
Yeah.
Digital.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just easier for me.
I hear you.
The closest comic book shop for me is a few miles out of my way, so I'd just rather save the gas and go digital.
A few miles?
Yeah. It's quite a while. Because well, I shouldn't say a few miles. It's like all the way across town. So with traffic, it takes me about 40 minutes to get out there.
Oh, that's different. I thought, well, plus it's Florida, so that thing could be underwater tomorrow.
But if you don't buy digitally and you buy physical copies, like I got all of these books, InStockTrades.com is the place to go because you can get your collected editions up to 50% off, and loyalty discounts add 2% to that. Every quarter, there's an Omnibroslive discount code. Over $50 in an order gets you free shipping in the United States. The best service ever. The best packaging. You're going to run around something about do it to the packaging. Yeah, I'm losing it. InStockTrades.com.
It's fading fast, guys.
I know. This was a rough day, man. Oh, I was on my deathbed. Woofa.
Dude, I hope that doesn't happen this weekend, bro.
I hope not, too.
Oh, that would stink.
Do you take medication, or what do you do when you get these shitty migraines?
I had medication and I ran out, and my prescription's not due to be refilled until the end of the month, so it sucks. So yeah, I gotta wait till the end of the month.
Shit. Well, I hope everything's good when you come out here, because I know airplane rides can like bother people sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, it'll be okay. It's I've got weird sleep-induced migraines that I wake up with, and they're really rare and hard to treat. And even with pain meds, I can't always. I can't always treat them. Even with pain meds, they sometimes doesn't take care of them. It's a miserable thing. Fortunately, it doesn't happen all the time. I'm not a weed smoker, Dave K. Sorry. Is weed legal in Vegas?
Sure is.
No, not a weed smoker.
Lucky bastard.
I can walk in, dude. Like one of the comic book stores, I'll take you to, just like right next door to the dispensary. So there has been times where I go, I'm gonna buy it, and the comic book store is like the owner is like the craziest, nicest guy that you're ever going to meet.
Yeah.
But his store is very indie. Like I'll go there and get things like the Fifth Beatle. That's probably where I'll find like that Louisa book. and he's a vegan. And there's like a vegan restaurant, like Caddy Corner from there, across the street. But there's been times where I've gone there and I'll buy like some weird ass comic, and I might buy a cartridge for my vape pen, kind of thing.
Dude, you are so lucky because it's not legal here, and I haven't smoked since July because I've been trying to find work, and it's killing me because it helps me sleep at night.
Oh yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's legal, but I don't know how that affects employment searches, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know if that's still, if that pops up on a pre-employment drug test. If that, my job doesn't drug test, whatever. So I'm not too worried about that. But I don't know what it would be like if it popped up on a drug test at a pre-employment.
Here's a good question that Cycle Cleveland brings up. I'd try CBD oil because it doesn't get you high. Is that, you probably don't even care about that?
Me?
I have a container of it in my cabinet.
CBD oil?
It's a CBD like lotion.
And you rub it on yourself and it works its way into your system?
Yeah, I use it to jack off all the time. Not really, but no. I'm sorry. Let's take this to a serious route. Yeah, I do have a CBD oil, not oil, but a lotion that is used by people in my family for like joint pains and can't sleep and things like that. I threw out my back once playing with my kids, and I used that before, and it was nice. It worked out,
Oh, maybe I'll try that.
That popped up on anything. Yeah, I mean,
I don't like getting high at all.
Up. Yeah.
Well, my buddy, he was up for a cooking job at Disney, like as one of the head chefs there, and he went out with some friends, smoked a little bit, and he got popped for it, and he didn't get the job.
Ooh.
When they did the drug test, he was so mad.
I wonder if I put CBD oil in my system, it would show up as marijuana in a test.
Do you get tested, Jess? Or is this something we should talk about off air?
Off air.
Off air.
Okay.
Okay. So this was Omnibros Live tribute to Stan Lee. Jess's Soapbox Parts 1 and 2. Gabe's incredible haul that I've never seen anything like it before from him.
I don't know where I'm going to put all this shit, dude. Seriously. I don't have space in my K-Lax. Good thing, like I said, like the spinner rack holds like a lot of like trades and oversized hardcovers. I'm gonna have to transfer stuff from my Kallaxes onto here to make room for the stuff that I bought or sell.
Yeah.
Anybody want a 7 Soldiers omnibus? Hit me up.
So, Luis, where can they find you?
You can find me at Comics Guide 101 on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff.
And Gabe Infinity Watch, you're back making videos.
I'm back making videos, so you can find me on Instagram. Hit me up on there for sure, because there will be videos of me and Jess, our debauchery over this weekend. Hitting up comic book stores, hitting up record stores, in and out, and other local Las Vegas restaurant eateries that you can't find anywhere else. YouTube, Gabe Infinity Watch. I did a video on the Marvel Knights Omnibus, just a quick overview of that. I'll be doing one of the unboxing of my spinner rack, and going forward, more videos. I don't have ads, so don't worry about that if you care about that kind of thing.
No,
so
wait,
that's where you can find me.
People are asking in the chat, no previews today? Because I know we went really long today.
Yeah, it's 9:30, and I can't even put words together anymore.
No, I totally get that. Gabe, you want to do maybe like a mini-sode? Well, we owe actually an episode.
Let's do that. Maybe when Jess is out here, maybe we'll do a previews episode when Jess is out here from his hotel room or something like that.
Okay.
When
That'd be fun.
Luis? I don't know what your schedule's like.
We could do that on Saturday or something.
Yeah, because I think we're gonna do a lot on Friday. Saturday night we have plans for Penn and Teller.
Woo! I love Magic.
Yeah, because we went long.
The Gathering, like the card game.
Penn and Teller magic.
Oh. Well, no. If we do previews later in the week, does it really matter? Because everything comes out tomorrow. Or Tuesday, right?
We'd be doing
tomorrow.
previews for the future. Yeah, they would be after views if we did it for this week on Saturday. We'd say what had already come out.
That's fine. Let's just wrap it up tonight.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Sorry, guys, no previews. We had the Stan Lee tribute instead.
Yeah. So God bless Stan Lee and his family, and God bless the chat. Peace and love. Peace and love. Thank you for 2,000 subscribers. We appreciate it. Woohoo! For Omnibroslive, you can find me on Omnidog's Vault on YouTube. Peace and love. Peace and love. Good night.